Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Gods of Rome video. In this video, we focus on what characters that are a good choice to upgrade. As you guys can see here, I have a whopping 14 4-star fighters altogether, which is a pretty impressive amount, as we have 9 on the list and then 5 on the roster. So we have 14 4-star fighters altogether, including Sobek. Now, I haven't really played around with Sobek very much, so the question begs to differ, which fighters should you upgrade? We're going to use the 2-star format since I have all 2-star fighters. Now, while Zeus does clock in at the highest power rating, Zeus is not a very good card at 3 and 4 stars. He does have the harm ability, but keep in mind abilities like Transfusion and Life Drains from characters like Sun Wukong are actually a lot better. Now, Seth is an okay card. He does have Rage Drain, which can be super annoying, but Poseidon also has Rage Reduction, and I found him to be a pretty formidable opponent. In the case of Fat Nero, I don't think Fat Nero is that good of a card. While he does have Transfusion, the Ultra 1, if it gets blocked from far range, it pretty much does no damage. Atlas is also another card that is fairly easy to deal with. At 3 and 4 stars, Vulcan is actually pretty difficult to deal with because he does have Drain Rage, and as we know, anything that can manipulate Rage or Stun is pretty powerful. Now, out of all the characters that actually have no stuns or Drain Rages, I think Prometheus is probably one of the solid fighters. He is pretty easy to deal with on the defensive side of things. When you're going up against him in PvP, he's not exactly that hard to deal with, but when you're using Prometheus, if you can chain combos, the significance of the Prometheus card is the fact that not only can he recover on Ultras, but if you have the secret skill unlocked, you can also recover damage dealt to the opponent as health. So if you hit for 600 damage, you're going to heal all of that damage. And that's a pretty powerful mechanic. Ra also has that, but he has that as a skill, not as a secret ability, so it can go higher. Darius at 3 and 4 stars does have the Rage Reduction ability, but his medium attack is also a little bit clunky because the range is quite a bit reduced. Now, because of that, I don't think Darius is really a hard card to deal with. The only factor, of course, is if you get range reduced, but in my opinion, Darius is not that great of a card, and Hercules is also not that great of a card. Also on the list of not that great of cards is Spartacus, because both his Ultra 1 and Ultra 2 you can avoid and get out of the way, just like Hercules, just like Darius' Ultra 1. Now, Spartacus does have a passive ability which can see a little bit of value, because it does reduce the opponent's attack and can recover health when the opponent uses Ultras, and when it gets up there, it is pretty good as a defensive tool, but it's really not going to be that significant. Now, Anubis at 3 and 4 stars gains a stun mechanic, which is super powerful, and I found him to be a pretty good character. I think he's definitely probably in the top 10 for upgradable characters. And also, Ra is a pretty solid card too. The main thing that makes Ra annoying is that the Eye of Ra adds in a third hit, kind of like Osiris. And because of that, Ra is actually a pretty good card. And of course, on all attacks, he has a chance of recovering health, which is a lesser quantity than Prometheus. It is not such a bad deal. Now, Cyclops is a card that is not that hard to deal with unless, of course, you get stunned. If you get stunned, it's pretty much lights out, but Cyclops is not that hard of a card to deal with generally. Now, Daji at 3 and 4 stars does gain Drain Rage and does make her significantly more annoying to deal with. Obviously, her secret skill is garbage, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. Talos, in my opinion, is also another one of those cards that really don't do much. And I think he's kind of clunky. He's not really that good of a card. But one card that is really powerful is Vercingetorix. Vercingetorix has so many ways. Let's show off the 3-star Vercingetorix, just to give you an idea. So 3-star Vercingetorix actually gains regeneration, but Calm Down and Drain Rage are really annoying mechanics. And of course, he's got the massive attack. But yeah, he's got some pretty annoying mechanics there. So we were on Vercingetorix. Ragnar is another card that I found is not all that great, mostly because his Ultra 1 is avoidable. The Ultra 2 is not, but he's also one of those cards that are pretty easy to combo down. Stheno is a lot easier to deal with than Medusa, and Medusa is really only a problem because Medusa does have the stun on Ultras. Both Stheno and Medusa have the same Ultra 1 and 2 because they are a reskin. Now, Bellis is a very interesting card. What makes Bellis super annoying is the Enrage. On critical hits and hit received, it's a pretty fair chance to gain extra rage for 5 seconds. And basically what this means is if you're comboing attacks, you're going to gain a lot of rage. So even with an advantage, and if you have the secret skill, it can be super powerful because it's a small chance to basically obliterate your opponent's rage. So a 3 or 4 star Bellis duplicate can actually be okay, but if he doesn't trigger his Enrage or if he doesn't trigger the rest, Bellis is not a hard card to deal with because both of his Ultra 1 and 2 are easy to get out of the way from. Speaking of Ultras that are possible to get out of the way from, Massinissa's Ultra 1 and 2 are both avoidable. And I found Massinissa to be fairly easy to deal with, even if I have like a 300 or 400 advantage. Most of the times I win the fight. One card that I think is fairly decent, especially if you have the secret skill, is Infernal Talus. At base level, Talus takes 6% reduced damage during the whole fight, and that gets magnitude as a 3-star Infernal Talus, for example, which we do have at rank 8, is a 6.63% chance. So if you have like rank 16, you'd have like 7%. If you have rank 24, it'd be like 8%. Yes, it is possible if you completed the PvP and got the 3-star fighter 3 times. Obviously, I don't have the 4-star fighter, which is unfortunate, but you get the idea there. So let's take the red filter off, and let's put the 2-star filter back on. So for more fighters, Athena is actually not that bad of a card. What makes Athena pretty good is that she does have the Anger passive, which has a chance to avoid Drain Rage, Confusion, Rage Reduction, Pacify, and Calm Down effects. Basically anything that stops Ultras or drains your Rage, and that's pretty powerful. Also, Armor is pretty good. The secret skill has a chance to increase the damage done by critical hits or to ignore the damage if the critical hit came from the opponent. Justice, of course, is damage mitigation, and at 3 stars, Athena also gains concentration, which reduces the damage received when blocking. So that's pretty good. And even Fallen Athena gains the Enraged ability, and that is really powerful. And Fallen Athena also has bleeding. So while Fallen Athena on paper has really poor stats, the fact that she's a fast attacker with bleeding, enraged, and armor break makes her fairly offensive. And upon dying, it's basically just like Fallen Zeus. When it works, it's good. When it doesn't, you're not going to miss it. So back to the shopping block. Perseus is actually a fairly easy card to deal with, as is Achilles, as is Ashen Minotaur, who does not have a stun mechanic, and Cleopatra I've also found fairly easy to deal with. The Northwalker, fairly easy to deal with as well. Julius, probably one of the most annoying low-grade cards, as well as Minotaur. Although, should you upgrade them, you probably should stick to some of the other ones. Now, one card that I have found to be really powerful and annoying in PvP is Sun Wukong. What makes Sun Wukong annoying are these 2 Ultras right here. Chance of draining the caster's health, stunning, and I think at 3 and 4 stars it also gains the tough ability or some sort of defense mechanic. And Monkey Luck increases chances to trigger a random skill. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, because I don't have a 3 and 4 star Sun Wukong, but hopefully in the PvP event I will have both, and I can definitely show that off better. Kronos is another card that's fairly easy to deal with. However, he does have one skill that is pretty good, Confusion, which can stop people from using Ultras, and that's pretty powerful when it does connect. And Presage basically gives you a chance to dodge attacks, kind of like Darius. But I found that Kronos is not that hard to deal with. Now, a card that I haven't upgraded because I've been working on my 3 and 4 star fighters, you really should upgrade this card. He is a pretty high rated fighter. As you can see by the 4-star Osiris at 2097, Seth is actually the highest at 2142. And Prometheus was around a little bit lower than Anubis, maybe 60-70 points, but higher than Milan and higher than Anubis. As far as Mulan goes, I don't think she's that great of a card. Yes, if you can combo and get her bravery to trigger quite a bit, and if you have the hidden ability unlocked, it is actually pretty good because it is a little bit of extra damage. It's really unfair to judge this ability because I don't have it on the 3 and 4 star versions, as I got cheated out one PvP session at 150k not getting it. Now on Sobek, we do have the 3 and 4 star version of Sobek as well. So for 4 star Sobek, he gains armor at 3 and 4 stars. Flood on all ultras, chance to be applied on the opponent for 10 seconds. Each hit on the opponent deals 15.25% additional damage and generates 33% less rage for the opponent. I haven't really had a chance to test out this because I haven't used 2-star Sobek. I really look forward to using this in the PvP event in a couple days. And regrowth every 34 seconds, heal 5% of the maximum health over 3 seconds. So that's pretty crappy. I don't know how it is at higher levels, but it seems really bad early on. And of course you have Osiris, Ra, and Cleopatra for bonuses. And being able to reduce the damage while blocking is okay, especially if you have multiple effects that stack that. Increasing the critical hit rate can be really good with Ra, and increasing the fighter's health, not really that big of a deal. So out of all the characters to upgrade, which characters should you upgrade the most? I really think that on the list, if you have a 3 or 4 star Poseidon, that's a really good choice. If you have a 3 and 4 star Seth, that's pretty good. If you have a 3 and 4 star Osiris, you really need to get them up. Osiris and Ra are pretty powerful because they have an extra hit on their ultras and they can basically knock people out from like half health. Anubis is also a really strong choice. Sun Wukong, in my opinion, is an amazing choice. Very powerful, very good. A 3 and 4 star Vulcan is also really powerful. You should also consider Vercingetorix. That's a very strong one. He is fairly easy to deal with, but because of all the ways to manipulate rage, don't overlook him. Prometheus, obviously, one of the best non-stunner or drainers. And even Infernal Talos, I found, because of the damage mitigation, is fairly good. A 3 and 4 star Julius might be considered to upgrade, but that's probably a last resort. Fallen Zeus is actually pretty good, and Fallen Athena is actually better than the stats indicate. Regular Athena is not that bad either. And I haven't done a lot of internal testing with Sobek, but if you need more stunners, Minotaur and Cyclops are also there as well. So if you like this video showing off which fighters you should upgrade in Gods of Rome in the 2, 3, and 4 star category, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Gods of Rome videos playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono, and have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!